Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I wanted to discuss a suggestion that one of you guys sent in my recent Q&A, and it really stood out to me, and I thought this is something that if all of us were aware of how much it'll affect us, we'd definitely think twice before stressing. And the topic was the effects of mental health on the physical body. I don't think we actually realize how much our thoughts cause our physical aches and pains and what it does to your body. So talking about this and discussing it in detail may help you rethink stressing out over silly mundane things all the time. First of all, stress is when your body and mind is knocked off balance. And anything that causes you to be knocked off balance and causes you stress, emotions such as anger, hurt, upset, they're all stored as memories in our heads. But with each memory, there's an emotion attached to it. And those emotions are stored in our body in different parts. So your hips, for example, will store certain emotions, certain traumas, your ankles, different parts of your body store emotions. And if those emotions are associated with stress and with anxiety or anything that makes you feel uneasy, then on a cellular level, it actually affects the way our molecules are made up. So it will actually affect the DNA and the molecules in your body, that emotion that you've stored linked to a stress or a trauma. So of course, your mental health is actually changing the makeup and molecules of your body if you're storing it and not dealing with it, and it's there for a long time. It will cause damage and it does affect your physical health. So obviously I'm going to explain this in more detail just so you guys understand how it works and what happens to our bodies when we do stress. Like I mentioned, stress is when your mind or body is knocked off balance, and we react to bring ourselves back to normal with stress or the stress hormone. So let's say you're standing in a queue and someone pushes in front of you. You react to that, you get stressed out over it, but then you get on with your day, you purchase what you need to, and you move on. You forget about it. Everything's normal. But let's say that the stress is caused by a partner or a co-worker, and they're sitting next to you, and therefore your body's releasing all these emotions and the chemicals because you're reacting to the stress that's caused, and you're in that zone for prolonged hours. Now, any creature in the world could withstand a little bit of stress for short periods of time. But if you're in that duress and in that emotional state of fight or flight, then that's not your normal state, and you're keeping your body in adrenaline mode and in these toxic emotions that are getting released and these chemicals for periods of time that your body is endurable enough to withstand that. So this is how stress is stored and affects you. So if your stress hormone is turned on and you're unable to turn it off and it's affecting you long term, you're basically keeping your body in a state of emergency all the time. And that's where you're headed for disease, because no organism on this planet is able to live under a state of emergency all the time. The thing with the human body is that it can't think for itself. So if you create thoughts, like stress could be evoked by just a single thought, and your body will go into that reaction and into that chemical production. Your body doesn't understand the difference between your thoughts and the reality. So you may have had a car crash years ago and that trauma stayed with you, but every time you think about that and you're reliving those memories and that trauma, your body doesn't know the difference whether you're in that car crash right now or whether that's a memory and you're just replaying it in your head. Because the minute you replay it in your head, your body thinks that it's that. It cannot tell the difference between a thought and a 3D reality. So therefore, if you evoke stressful thoughts in yourself all the time, you are then telling your body that you're in a state of trauma, you are in a state of emergency, and that the cycle just goes on. So then your body feels like it's in a state of emergency, it's producing all these chemicals, which in turn makes your brain feel a certain way and you're anxious. And that's how your body and mind affect each other. So to cut a long story short, our thoughts do make us sick. And if we stay in that state for a long time, it will definitely cause diseases, or there's a possibility of it really making you ill. So the same way that our thoughts make us ill, then the flip side of it is that if you start thinking differently and rewire your brain in a different way so that you're not constantly in a state of stress, or you're able to turn off that stress, understand how to deal with an issue, then you can also create abundance and health for yourself. So the same way that your body cannot tell the difference between a trauma of reality, of whether the trauma is in reality or in your thoughts, is the same way that if you start thinking in positive ways and rewiring your brain to start thinking in a different way, then your body doesn't know any different. So therefore, if you constantly think happy thoughts or positive thoughts or empowering thoughts, then you will become that person, because your body then follows what your mind's thinking. So if you're trying to be positive most of the time, you are continuously producing positive and happy hormones, and your body is working towards that and working with that. Therefore, you will eventually become that if you teach yourself to think in a certain way. I really hope that I managed to explain the extent of how much stress and mental health could affect your body. It isn't just about loss of appetite or gaining a little bit of weight, of being in a mood or feeling a little bit uneasy. When you're in that state for a prolonged period of time, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to end up causing yourself a more sinister sickness or a disease. And it could all be avoided by just changing the way you think or react to situations, and for how long you choose to give your time and energy to that situation. Like I said, the same way that you could cause yourself sickness because of your thoughts, you could start thinking happy thoughts and really change and alter your reality, because your brain, your body doesn't know any different. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it's helped you understand what you could do to yourself just by your thoughts alone. And if you have any suggestions or anything that you would like me to discuss, please do write them in the comments below. I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Mwah.